All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, before I begin this lesson, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. The honors go out to our apostles, elders, great millstone, and ruin, teach well. Shalom, wa barakim to you, brothers and sisters out there. The title of this lesson is Soon He, emphasis on the E, will try to fall upon us. And the brother wanted me to get this article. You can just stop me as I read it. Do you want me to read the whole thing?
Um, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Not really necessarily the whole thing because it's a lot to get into, and if the spirit's on you, you can after we finish, you put it in the description box below or in the in the live chat. But you can just start from the top and just go from there. And if you want to go around the words because it says anti, but it's up to you if you want to say it fully.
All right.
But if I may add, because it says soon he will try to fall upon us, because that's what Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, generally speaking, that's what they're about to do. They're about to fall upon us, try to at least to come upon the Israelites, not just the Israelites, but the men of the Lord, starting with the elders and apostles of the great millstone on down. And don't think that just because you say you're an Israelite but you're not, out there teaching, doing this, that, and third, that they're not going to try to come. Then that they're not going to try to come after you as well. They're going to come after all those who are professing that they're Israelites, and maybe you behind YouTube, computer keyboard warrior trying to type and do all this and that, but they're going to come after everybody, man. But yeah, you got it.
I got a quick scripture. Isaiah 59:15. Yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. And Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So, main part is he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. So those that depart from, which we know, like Galatians 1:4 and Job 9:24, that this earth is ruled by wickedness, it's ruled by the Edomites, starting with the Illuminati, so-called, which really they're not illuminated. They push nothing but darkness. But nonetheless, when you depart from this world, because the Lord chose us out of this world, you're made a prey, which a prey is basically a victim. So you're made a prey to Satan, to demons attacking you mentally, physically, especially mentally, and then of course even physically coming. I mean, because you're standing up for righteousness, you're rising up against the evildoers. So the only way that Esau feels he can, stop that from happening is putting you to death, essentially. So eventually, and just like it said during the time of Yahweh Shai, when they kept trying to lay hands on him, it wasn't time. So it's the
Right.
same thing now. I mean, you hear rappers talk about how they can get somebody hit the next day. You don't think Jacob Rothschild couldn't get us hit?
Mm-hmm.
But it hasn't been, it's not the time for that. Pretty soon it's going to be the time for all hell to break loose, and Esau is going to sick his dogs on us, man. But the
Right.
Lord is going to lift up that standard.
That's right.
So I
Yeah.
can read this article. So the title, well, first of all, it's on thehill.com, and it was posted on December 12th. It says Biden establishes government task force to combat anti-Semitism. And it says President Biden will establish a task force to coordinate government efforts to address anti and other forms of religious bigotry, the White House said Monday, in the wake of a rise in anti rhetoric from high profile public figures.
Slakia. Yeah, when they saying that, they're talking about Kanye, Kyrie. Kyrie put out the he retweeted a link to the Hebrews to Negroes link on Amazon Prime. And then, you know, we all, you know, as well know about Kanye. And as well as we seen that the IUIC went out there and marched in front of you know, the Barclays Center when Kyrie came back to join. Not to join, but, you know, to play again. But they got their eyes out, man. And just like they got that that one website going into showing all the hate groups in America. I forget what it's called.
Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yeah, Southern Poverty Law Center. They got all the Hebrew Israelites. They got IUIC. They got Sakari. They got GMS, ISUPK, and then you'll see next to them it'll labeled as General Hate Group. So they got their eyes on us, man. It's just a matter of time, like the brother said, when they're going to come after us. And, you know, because we know that they're going to come after us because they know that this truth is getting pushed more and more. And they don't like that, man. They don't like to see us coming back to our power, coming back to our true power, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. And just knowing that there is Israelites. That's the whole reason why they kept us down so long, man. Because they know that once we get once we know who we truly are, they can't stop us. And that they're trying to get to the point to where they're going to try to come after us and kill us. But really, we're going to have Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua on our side to defend us in that day. You got it out.
We got Revelations. You didn't get this just now, did you?
Revelation 12.
Yeah.
No, I had it pulled up, but I can get it for you if you want me to.
Yeah, we can go ahead and grab that.
Revelation 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
And he does have a short time. The reason he has a short time is because, like the scriptures say, the words are faithful and true.
Right.
So, which he's not dumb, right? The elites, they know the only thing that makes them fools is their pride, because the reality is they know the truth. You know, brothers always say that you can't lie without knowing the truth, because if you give out a false answer, you're not lying, you just don't know. Really, you're just being arrogant, because if you don't know, you're supposed to lay your hand upon your mouth. But Esau, it's not that he doesn't know, he knows, but he opposes. So he puts false information out there because, like it says in 2 Thessalonians 2, he opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God, because he's trying to be the Most High. So he's going to come down upon us because the prophets are which I'm going to actually get this. Say it better than I can. Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against, so not for, they didn't show up towards the setting of a country or an empire. And by setting, I mean when it's falling or when it's about to fall, and say and preach prosperity. That never happens. They prophesied against the empire and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So we're letting the people know, and especially the elites, because, you know, if you will, it's a spiritual diss track that we throw out every day. But, you know, addressing them in the spirit, it's a spiritual battle, and they're being attacked on every angle. So since they're losing the spiritual aspect of the battle, they're going to resort to their carnality, which is their blessing, the sword. So they're going to come down upon us thinking that that's going to stop prophecy, which shows their pride, because that is prophecy. So the Lord got them in a trick bag, man.
That's right. Yeah, I got a precept for you.
Go ahead.
You quoted it earlier, Isaiah. I thought it had standard against them. Lift up. It's like let me type it out real quick. This is Isaiah. I think it's 59. Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. And that's exactly what Esau is about to do. They're about to come in like a flood. When a flood comes, the flood isn't just idly, just coming and flooding the whole area. It's rushing, man. It's rushing and it's overtaking everything in its path. It's not just going to be a gentle. The flood's just going to gently, cover the land. No, the flood rushes and covers the land real quickly. And that's how Esau, Edom, our enemy, which a lot of our people don't see, the so-called white man as our enemy. But our enemy is going to come in very heavily upon us, just like we read in Revelation 12 and 12. But the Lord Yahweh Shem Yasah is going to lift up a standard against him, meaning he's going to be with his elect and he's going to give his men spiritual power. Because we're going to need that defense in that day, man, because you got to know Esau is going to have robo dogs, robo cops. They're going to have everything, and we already seeing them showing it bits and pieces of the technology and the things that they have already in store for the Israelites. You got it out.
And then I got this Jeremiah 30 and 7, because a big part of JT is actually Esau rolling on us. Really majority of JT has to deal with Esau playing a role in it, because that's what's going to cause. We're already uncomfortable, but we really don't know what being uncomfortable means in the sense of what we're about to.
Right.
Nobody that I know at least has been a pilgrim upon the earth. So we're going to become pilgrims upon the earth, not by moving to, some random country or, just on our own accord. It's because we're going to have no choice, because Esau is going to come down on us and basically shut us out of society. And we're going to constantly be on the run from him, just like you see in these different movies, but he's always going to be, we're always going to be 2 steps ahead of him. So we're not going to have to worry about it. And a few, brothers that do get caught up in it, they're going to strive for the truth on the death, which is what we all have to do. But it says, Jeremiah 30 and 7, at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. He shall be saved out of it. All right. Those that actually wanted to adhere to the words of Yahweh Shema Shai, they're the ones that's going to be protected in those times. That's why the Lord said in Isaiah that his servants shall eat. We're not doing this work, just to someday in the future get folded by Esau, just get fucking shit on. No, we're going to be protected and taken care of. So long as we remain faithful, we continue to have faith in the Lord no matter what, we're going to be all right. Because once the cameras get shut off and, we leave camp, this truth don't stop. It's an everyday thing. This is who we are. And the scriptures tell us in Hebrews 11 that you have to believe that he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So we believe that, we're going to be able to reap what we've sown. Just like how Esau is going to reap what he sows, we're going to reap what we've sown, which is righteousness. So we're going to receive salvation for that. I guess I'll pull this. Matthew 16 and 25, it says, and this should be in red. Yeah. So Yahweh Shai spoke these words. It says, for whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. Which it goes into physical life, but even just in society. We forsook our lives, and we're about to forsake literally everything we have. Our house is going to be abandoned. What are you going to do? Cleave onto your walls? When martial law kicks your door in, you're going to get out of there. Your car, all that shit is going to be left behind. Clothes, even certain people you may live with that don't want to get right, that are going to sell you out. They're going to get left behind. A lot of people are going to get left behind. A lot of, all possessions are going to get left behind. That's right. And that's just part of Esau rolling down on us. If you want, I can get back into the article.
Come on.
It says Biden is creating an interagency group led by the staff at the Domestic Policy Council and the National Security Council. Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, said in a statement, the group's first order of business will be to formulate a national strategy to counter anti.
They said to counter, not to fuel it, but to counter it, man. So and do that. They're saying that the Hebrew Israelites that they are anti, that they do come up against the Booish people, that they come up against those gutter rats, which isn't false, because we're saying that we are the people. We're saying that we are the Jews. We are the Most High's chosen people, Yahweh's chosen people, which in turn we're also saying that they aren't the chosen people, that they aren't the true people, but in fact they are Amalekites, coming from Esau, that they're not the real Jews, man. But then at the same time, they're going to look at us like, nah, that's anti, man. That's anti, man. You can't say that. And then it's going to all lead up to them coming after us. There could be, some quote unquote terrorist attack, and then they're gonna plaster our names, our faces all over the channels, and say, hey, if you know that this black Hebrew Israelite, they're gonna say black Hebrew Israelite, then they're gonna have my face on the picture. Man, I don't look black, man. So really, we're not black Hebrew Israelites. We just Hebrew Israelites, man. But they're gonna say black Hebrew Israelites. If you know one, call this number ASAP. And you got to know that there's gonna be people who's is gonna call that number, man, and say, hey, man, yeah, I know. They say, hey, if you know one, here's a reward. Jake gonna fall all on that reward, man, to come after us. But that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna come up against us because we preaching truth, man. Because we telling the people the 100% truth of the scriptures. Just like it says, I have not shunned to declare unto you the whole entire gospel. It don't matter, man. We not shunning. We don't care what they do. We're going to continue to preach this truth, man, because we're not shunning to declare the whole entire gospel, the 100% truth, man, which has been given unto us by Yahweh Shem Yashah, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. You got it, brother.
I got the Galatians 4:16. It says, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? And the answer to that is yes. And that's something that you learn, honestly, very early on in the truth, is that everybody begins to have, you put a bad taste in their mouth.
Right.
That's why it's best to just keep it to yourself. Don't go and tell everybody around you about it, because it's not meant to be like that. Because if you can maintain certain relationships that may benefit you, then you should do so. Not everybody needs to get tossed to the curb, but a lot of us, speaking about myself, you try to tell everybody, people at work, and then people at work and around you, they think you're crazy.
Yeah.
Clark Kent is not involved in that. They just think you're batshit crazy. You put a bad taste in their mouth. Now when you might need some help at the job or might need help somewhere, they're not going to help you. You got to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. But especially dealing with Esau, the elites, we're already their enemy. They hate Jake even in the slums. So they damn sure hate Jake that's on the YouTube making our lessons about how Esau is a devil. So this is I'm also get this real quick. Acts chapter 5, and I'm gonna just get to the point. Well, 38 to 42, Acts 5. It says, and now I say unto you, and this is Gamaliel, who was basically a secret disciple of the Lord. It says, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it. Least haply ye be found even to fight against God. So Esau didn't take Gamaliel's words of wisdom. Gamaliel is basically telling the wicked of our people, the wicked scribes and Pharisees, to leave them alone. If what they're doing is bugged out, it's going to come to an end. And we've seen that with some of these other groups. They leave or they get kicked out or whatever, and they talk shit and they don't last because it's not of the Most High.
Right.
They play their little role of being a scoffer and a scorner, and then they fade away like a dream. All right. So, but the apostles and elders on down, they've been here for 3+ decades, man, going on 4. This truth has been here since 1969, since Rabbi Abba Bibin. So obviously, this is not going anywhere. So Esau's best interest was really to leave us alone, but he's not going to do that. Really, it was his best interest to leave the Israelites alone. Period. He should have never went over to the so-called New World. He should have never went to the west coast of Africa. He should have just stayed where the fuck he was, in the Caucasus Mountains. He should have never came out of there to rape, rob, and murder Jake in Europe.
Right.
Because that's one thing that we don't really talk about that much. Because I mean, how you think the Israelites got taken out of power? They didn't just sign a treaty.
Right.
They got fucking raped, robbed, and murdered up there, man. To the point where most people now that are grown as hell in society, they don't even know about so-called Negroes being in Europe. It's just always Pale and Edomites, 25-8, and it always has been, and that's not the case. Acts chapter 5 and verse 40, and to him they agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten them, which obviously he's a dumbass nigga because he didn't listen. He just said, leave him alone, and he proceeded to beat him anyways.
Right.
But it says they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Yahushua and let them go. And that's why Esau pushes out these different names, because he doesn't want the names of Yahweh Shemel Shai to start to gain power as they did, in times past. But they're going to. The names of the Lord are always going to receive their due glory. It's just a matter of time. Just like how that sign on the news said Yahweh Shai is coming, that's an example of that. And it says, and they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. And daily in the temple and in every house, they ceased not to teach and preach Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So the persecution is not going to prevail over this word. It's not going to prevail over the prophets. And the reality is, even with our people, like the brother say, you're going to have niggas take bribes. They're going to take the smallest of bribes, too. They might be hungry as hell, get one Papa John's pizza to sell you.
Right.
And that's fine. But what Jake needs to understand and Esau needs to understand is you've had your time with the prophets before. You've had all these different prophets get put to death in horrible ways. Isaiah getting sawn in half from his groin. That's because of you niggas, man. But we're at the time now where the Lord ain't gonna allow it to happen like that no more. Most brothers are not gonna get put to death. They're actually gonna be putting you to death.
Right.
Especially because we know that 2/3 deals with America, so the Israelites worldwide. That doesn't mean you're just exempt. Scriptures talk about purging out the rebels. So the elect are gonna come for your ugly ass, man. You're not safe all the way in Portugal, nigga.
If you ain't got anything else, you can get that next article. Then we can stop it after. Get a couple more precepts and stop it after that.
You said the next article,
or the next paragraph, Slakia.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, I didn't see no.
Yeah, right.
It says this strategy will raise understanding about anti and the threat it poses to the Ish community and all Americans. And they try to throw that in there. Yep. All Americans. Address anti-harassment and abuse both online and offline. Seek to prevent.
Slakia. It says both online and offline. They would consider what we're doing right now to be anti. They would consider it to be, you coming up against the Ish people, the Booish people. You coming up against the God's chosen people. That's how they would see, us doing this right now. Not just us, but all the brothers, man. All Israelites coming up. If you just making a video, man, saying that you an Israelite, that's anti. Because you're saying that you're an Israelite, but the Ish people aren't. They're gonna online and offline, man. When we go out in the highways and the byways and we preaching, that's anti. You saying that you're an Israelite and you saying that they aren't Israelites or they aren't the Ish people. That's anti, man. So they're gonna see this, and then they're gonna come up against us. They're gonna say, "Hey, YouTube, you can't do that no more. You can't let this continue to go on." Hey, Instagram, Facebook, because Israelites are everywhere, man. You see Israelites on Facebook, you see Israelites on Instagram, you see Israelites on TikTok making TikTok videos. They're gonna say, "Hey, man, y'all can't allow this to service anymore. Y'all can't allow this to continue to spread anymore. We're gonna need y'all to cut it out." And even in these other platforms that allow free speech, they're gonna say, "Hey, man, y'all can't allow that." Like Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, they're gonna say, "Hey, man, y'all can't allow this hate speech. You can't let this anti continue on your platform. You need to cut it out." And that's what they're going to do, man. Offline and online and offline, they're gonna say, "Hey, man, y'all can't be on the streets no more. Y'all can't do this no more." And they're gonna come up against us very, very harshly. And I got a precept, Matthew 24.
Do you mind if I say this real quick?
Yeah.
I pressed on the person's name that's talking in this article, and Karine Jean Pierre. And this is real anti, Sem activity, because this is a Levite woman. She's a so-called black woman based off the last name is French. She's most likely a Levite. And she's coming up, she's broadly targeting the Israelites, her own people.
Mm-hmm.
She's supposed to be a daughter of priests, and look what she's doing. That's anti-Sem activity. And then, to make matters worse, she doesn't have a husband. She has a partner, which is a woman.
Mm.
So I'm supposed to this is who they put up on the forefront.
Yep.
A Levite lesbo. That's fucking insane, man.
Right.
Good Lord.
Yeah, you can finish the rest of that, then I'll get this precept. Unless you got a precept or anything to add.
No, I'll just read it. Okay. Both online and offline seek to prevent anti-Sem attacks and incidents and encourage whole of society efforts to counter. How many times are they going to say that?
Right.
About all the other racist activity that goes on. It says anti-Sem and build a more inclusive nation.
Now, how are they going to? You got to think, man. How are they going to counter it? And when you Israelites who profess you're in the truth, and speaking to myself first and foremost, we got to know what we're getting ourselves into. We got to know how bad it's going to be when they come in like a flood, when they coming up against us. It says what is Ecclesiastes or Sirach, the 2nd chapter. It says, "Prepare thyself for temptation." You got to prepare your soul for what is coming, man, and know that it's not going to be no walk in the park. It's not going to be no butterflies and rainbows, sugar, spice, and everything nice when Esau comes up against us. Your faith is going to be tried. You are going to be tried. You're going to be tested to see how your integrity was in that day. And it may be your lot. It may be my lot that the Lord has it to where Esau does catch you. That Esau comes up against you, that they capture you, they take you, they torture you. Hey, man, you got to stop. You got to stop this. We'll give you this, that, and the third. And the Lord may have it to where He's just testing you to see how you're going to react, what you're going to do in this situation. They torturing you, they waterboarding you, they pulling off your fingernails, they doing this and that and third. What is your mind frame in that time, man? We got to think upon these things, knowing that this could be our lot. It could be our lot to where we running and they shoot our leg and then they catch us and they take us to the FEMA camp or whatever it may be. Because this is the time that we're coming into. They're going to counter it, man. Counter means to stop it. Really, they're gonna come up against us. So this is Matthew 24 and verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. They're going to deliver us now, like the brother pointed out earlier. Not all the men of the Lord is going to be martyred. Not all the men of the Lord is going to be captured, but you're going to have some men of the Lord. You're going to have some elect members that are captured, that may be killed. But at the same time, are you going to be faithful unto death? Are you going to strive for the truth unto death? Are you going to endure to the end? Because the scripture also says that, and Psalm said, precious are the sight in the Lord's. Let me get it. And if you got anything to say before I get this, you can say it, Akia.
I had some, but it slipped my mind, so it's all good.
Okay, I'm gonna get this real quick then. And Psalm 116 and verse 15, it reads, "Precious in the sight of the Lord Yahweh is the death of his saints." So you got to know, even if you do have to die in this truth, man, even if you do have to be killed, be martyred in this truth, you got to know that it's a precious thing to be put to death in the sight of the Lord, standing firm for this truth, holding fast what the Lord Yahweh has gave us, man, even if it means being tortured. And at the same time, the Lord could have it to where he delivers you out of this situation, that situation. Did he not deliver, I believe, Apostle Peter out of the prison? He woke him up and he let him out the way of the prison. And then the guards was like, shit, I don't know what happened to him. Did not the Lord Yahweh keep Daniel safe in the lion's den? Did not did not Yahweh Hashem Yashai keep Meshach, the three holy children when they got thrown into the fire? Did he not keep them safe? So the Lord, so it's not a hard thing for the Lord Yahweh to keep us safe in that day, man. You got it, Doc.
Well, the one I remembered, because you may mention a counter, because what you said is true, because a lot of people would just read that and say it's kind of like counterterrorism. So basically they just stop, they just put an end to it. Mm-hmm. They just cut it off from happening. But that's not what a counter is in a fight. And this is spiritual war. Right. So when you look at boxing, if somebody throws a punch and you put your hands up and it hits your hands, that's called a block. A counter is when you dodge it and you throw a punch back. Beautiful. That's what a counter is. So it just goes to prove the brother's point. They're not going to stop it. Right. They're going to attack you. That's what they're going to do.
Right. Mm-hmm. You said you had a preset?
Yeah. I got honestly, I got one to close if you don't have nothing else.
Let me get this then real quick. 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. And that's talking about the elect, man. The elect, those that fear the Lord. And at the same time, you got the rest, the Israelites, all have a sort of fear of the Lord. So they're not just going to come after the elect. They also going to come after any Israelite, man. They don't care, man. You got to know that Esau has a perpetual hatred against us, against the Israelites, and they about to show their true horns. They about to come raring and ready, man, to just kill the Israelites. But it's really starting with the elect, the men of the Lord that are preaching and teaching the true gospel. So it says, verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen. It's going to be known in that day who are the Lord's chosen, who stood firm, who stood stiffly for the name of the Lord, who didn't give up, who didn't back down, who didn't submit to Esau's rule, to Esau's agenda. And they shall be tried, continuing on, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. We're going to go through that fire, man. It's not going to be no cakewalk. Like it says in Acts, through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom of heaven. Much tribulation. It didn't even say tribulation. It said much tribulation. That means it's going to be very difficult. And it also says in 2nd Ezra 7, where with the water on the left, and on the right, or on the right, on the left of fire, and on the right a deep water. And we got in one straight and narrow path in between them both. We got to go through that fire so that we can obtain what is on the other side, man, which is the kingdom of heaven. And it's not going to, like I said, it's not going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be very difficult, and it's going to be known in that day who are the Lord's chosen. You got it, Doc.
I got this Revelations 2:10. Is that all you said? That's all you had?
Come.
Revelations 2:10. It says, "Fear." Oh yeah, and it's red, which means how should I said it? Fear none of the Revelations 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer, because we're all going to suffer. That's guaranteed. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. You didn't bring this out, did you?
Mm-mm.
That ye may be tried, which that's, well, actually, I didn't get to the time yet. And you shall have tribulation 10 days, which that's not, an actual timestamp. It's just, giving you 10, but it could be less, could be more, could be 10 days. Who knows? Honestly, who cares? Being there sucks, but you got to endure. It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 weeks. It's going to be a whole new experience. It's going to completely suck ass, but it's going to be all right because the Lord is going to, what's greater than physical comfort? Because you can be uncomfortable as hell physically. You can be dirty. You can be hurt. You can be sick. You can be tired, but your spirit can still receive comfort, because we have hope. That's what the mother and her 7 sons were constantly pushing in 2nd Maccabees 7. They have hope of everlasting life. Cut off my hands, my feet, my tongue. I'm going to get all these things back. But you, when the time comes, you're not going to have no resurrection. You're going to be fucking destroyed. It says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And that's the point. That's what we want to receive. The scriptures say, let no man take your crown. So we haven't received it physically as of yet, but we've been given the golden ticket, been given the key to the kingdom of heaven, this truth. All we need to do is maintain it. Okay. All you got to do is hold on to it, and you're going to be able to open the door. That's it. Put it in your pocket, put it in your backpack, tape it to your forehead. Just make sure you keep it on you. That's it.
That's it.
Did you have anything else you want to say?
Nope, you said it perfectly. Beautifully. Through the strength of your Hashem.
Lord willing, that this lesson was edifying to the elect. Before we close, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah, Rash. Honors go out to our apostles, elders, Greg Millstone, Ruin, Teach Well, Shalom, and Abba Ball.
Shalom.